This video explains how to add an arrow to a plot using the R programming language. So without too much talk, let's dive into the R code. In this video I will show you different examples, and all of these examples are based on the example data that we can create with lines 2 and 3 of the code. So if you run these lines of code, you can see at the top right of RStudio that a new data object is appearing, which is called data. And if you click on this data frame, a new window is opened, which is showing the structure of our data frame. And as you can see, our data contains 5 rows and 2 columns, which are called X and Y. So if we want to draw these data with a base R plot, we need to apply the plot function, as you can see in lines 5 and 6 of the code. So if you run these lines of code, you can see at the bottom right that a new scatter plot is appearing. And now if we want to add an arrow on top of this plot, we need to apply the arrows function, as you can see in lines 8 to 11 of the code. And within the arrows function, you need to specify the starting points on the X and Y axis and the endpoints on the X and Y axis. So in this case, I want to start my arrow at the positions 1 and 2, and I want to end my arrow at the positions 3 and 4. So if you run lines 8 to 11 of the code, you can see at the bottom right that our plot is updated. And as you can see, we have added an arrow to our plot. So in this first example, I have explained how to use the basic installation of the R programming language to add an arrow on top of a plot. However, it's also possible to use the ggplot2 package for this task. And this is what I want to show you in the next example, starting in line 13 of the code. So in lines 13 and 14 of the code, I'm first installing and loading the ggplot2 package. I have installed this package already, so for that reason I'm just going to load it with line 14 of the code. And then in lines 16 to 17 of the code, I'm creating a ggplot2 plot without arrows. So for this, I'm using the ggplot and the geonPoint functions. And if you run these lines of code, you can see at the top right of RStudio that a new plot object is appearing, which is called ggp. And we can draw this plot by running line 18 of the code. And then you can see at the bottom right that we have drawn our data points in the data frame called data, once again without arrows. So now if we want to add an arrow on top of this plot, we need to specify our plot object once again. And then we need to add to this the geom_segment function. And within this function, we need to specify once again the start and end points of our arrow. And we also need to set the arrow argument to be equal to the length of the arrow. So if you run lines 20 to 25 of the code, you can see at the bottom right that an arrow is added on top of our plot, which is starting at the start points and is ending at the end points that we have specified within the geom_segment function. That's all I wanted to explain in this video. In case you want to learn more on this topic, you may check out my homepage, statisticsglobe.com, because on my homepage I have recently published a tutorial in which I'm explaining the content of this video in some more detail. I will put a link to this tutorial into the description of the video, so you can find it there. If you have liked this video or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. I'll try to respond to all comments as soon as I can. Furthermore, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notified about future video releases. I have already published about 500 videos on this channel, and I'm releasing new videos on a daily basis. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video.